it's also so cool to see the character development and see people find themselves in the WWE. I mean, you obviously had multiple versions of that. I think the one you're on right now is awesome.
Thank you.
Roman's doing his thing right now, but he found that. I got to see Dom Mysterio do it in real time.
Yep.
We had our first WrestleMania together, right? And now he's got the most heat in the WWE.
Oh yeah.
And watching watching Dom turn against his dad and grow out his mullet. And the longer that mullet got, the more evil he got. and he got even more tattoos at the time. He literally like evolved into this thing that now works.
Yeah.
So is that what it is? Is it just throwing shit at the wall until the audience reacts, clicks with something, and then you run with it?
Yeah, dude. I mean, you can like best laid plans. You know, you can come up with this great idea, but if the way you see it isn't the way other people see it, it's not going to work. And that's not just wrestling. That's everything, right? You got this vision for what, and sometimes WWE's got a reputation for kind of like forcing things, but as characters, it's on us to figure out. It's our brand. Like, yes, they are, WWE's the overarching theme, but like I have to take responsibility for myself, and WWE gives us the autonomy to be able to do that because we have these live events, we have TV every week. We get to, if we hear something, not everybody's going to hear that. If we see something, not everybody's going to see that about us. They can't keep track of all of these people and every single second of everything they do. So like, you could kind of see, I wrestled Dom in his first match. Speaking of the pandemic, I wrestled him in his first match on live television. We did this great story with the Mysterio family that no one probably ever saw, where I obliterated this kid with a kendo stick. Like obliterated him, dude. You can find the images online. I mean, I just annihilated him with it. And it built to this match with him and I at SummerSlam. It would have been 2020 probably. And it was wonderful to see where he was then, potential. And he was a good guy. He's a baby face. He's just straight white meat. I'm Rey Mysterio's kid and all that. And you could, for me, I remember I was sitting in a live event not long ago, and he was getting just booed out of the building. And one of our producers, Hurricane Helms, was sitting there with me, and he's like, can you, he's got a little bit of a lisp. He's like, if you'd have told me six months ago he's going to be a top heel in the business, would you believe it? And I was like, yes, that's the visionary part. I could see this coming. I'm like, because he's not built to be a babyface. He's Rey Mysterio's kid. Like, he's the same thing. Like, people think he's getting handed everything, for being Rey's kid. And like, it's so easy to want to hate nepotistic jerks, right? It's so easy to want to people like digging off their family name. It's easy to hate that. And I'm like, they're gonna love him at first, but eventually it's all gonna come back around. But the risk is, so you said, you were concerned being booed, and you're not alone in that. People don't like that sometimes. It's a hard pill to swallow. Like you don't want. It's hard for you to not feel like it's personal.
At first, for sure.
Yeah,
it's so unnatural to be like, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah. So for him to be able to feel that, take that in, and then apply it every single week, and trust the people around him to telling him exactly what to do, to be able to do that, and then turn it into where it is now, where he can't pick up a microphone to say words because they'll just boo him out of the building.
You have
to
see this guy.
It's fantastic.
He raises it to his mouth, and he literally can't talk. He probably can't even hear himself when he's talking.
Yeah, and it's so fun to watch. And here's the thing is, like, I'm with him on these live events all the time, and he's a sponge for information. So, like, I'll tell him something, hey, you should check this out. Watch yourself do this. This is maybe a better way to do it. And he'll apply it the next day, and it works. And he's like, oh, light bulb. And then you could just see the little things that he does every single step of the way start to improve. You got to remember, he's still like 23 or something. He's a very young cat, man. So he's still like growing into his body. He's learning, how to do this thing, and like trying to fill, again, we talked about Rey Mysterio earlier on, one of the greatest of all time. You can't fill those shoes, dude. You will never be able to. I can't imagine the pressure that puts on you. So for him to be able to develop himself as something completely different than his dad, that's got to take so much weight off of his shoulders. Totally. He doesn't have to be his father. He can be his own thing, and that's fantastic.
See, you know what's tricky about the heel thing for me? It's like, in basketball or football, right? You have away games, but eventually you're going to go home. For you, or like for heels in this space, every night is an away game.
I went to Cleveland.
Didn't they still boo you there?
A little, but not even nearly as much.
But they didn't hate you as much in Cleveland.
Yeah.
No, that's his hometown. But I wanted to say, the reason why I feel like it might be a tougher adjustment for someone like you is like, these guys go out there under a moniker. You know, if the Undertaker, obviously not him, but if somebody's a heel at any given time, their character is a heel. He goes out, his real name's Logan Paul. He goes out as Logan Paul.
Yeah.
So when he gets booed walking into a place, like in a way, like you're adjusting to the idea that they're booing you. And the only thing that he's ever done in life was played a character. He's never played a character before this. It's always been him. So you've had to like detach. Yeah, you've had to like kind of detach yourself from the idea that they don't like you, and started to come around to the idea that they don't like the character that you play in the WWE.
You said it exactly, and I realized that the noise, the boos, the cheers, that's the currency. That's what I'm getting paid to do. That's why I'm there.
That's it.
If they're silent, that's lame, and I'm going to get fired. If they're cheering, it's not as fun for the type of guy I am at the moment.
Wait, could they ever turn him into a baby?
Maybe in a decade. Maybe in a decade.
Absolutely.
Putting in the work.
Absolutely. But so you kind of touched on that a little bit. Like, but it's hard because wrestling, like you mentioned, we play characters, we do, but it is hard to understand that because wrestling's like this weird in-between area for characters and real people, because the best characters in wrestling are personalities just turned way up. And like, it's just not like our audience does not see us the same way as George Clooney in a movie.
For sure.
You know, if George Clooney goes out and has like a stinker in a movie, like people just go, oh, bad George Clooney movie. Oh, well, it's probably not his fault. He still did great. So whatever. Like he's not fully judged on like the character, the content of the character in that movie. If he's like a scumbag in there, like no one's like, oh, I hate George Clooney now because he played this rotten mob boss in this movie. Like they're just like, oh wow, George Clooney killed it. He was so good. But like wrestling's weird because there's like this, like I was just on the Today Show the other day. I go as Seth Rollins. I don't go as Colby Lopez. You know what I'm saying? So like it's this weird, it's cool because it's the only thing that it's like that is like, but it's also weird and creates some strange mental processes going on.
You're locked into it.
Yeah.
You're tied to it.
Yeah, it's a funky world we live in.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button, and if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.